In this video, I'm going to show you how you can train to become a professional pitcher by improving your velocity and spin weapons. So first off, before we get into it, who is this for? If you are passionate about your own development and you want to improve, if you have a high work ethic but you don't know where to start, if you haven't had access to high quality coaching before, and you know there are training methods that can get you better, but you don't know how to implement them properly, this is for you. Maybe you're a high school or college pitcher and you've had success in the past before, but you see guys that have power stuff getting more looks than you. You have a long-term growth mindset and you're looking to set yourself up for the future and you want to be the best pitcher you can be, but you're tired of being outperformed by guys that don't work as hard as you. Who this is not for. If you're not serious about your pitching development, this is not for you. If you have limiting beliefs around what's possible, you think that because you haven't done it before, it can't be done. You think remote training doesn't work and you have to be in person to succeed. Or you have a fixed mindset and you're not willing to adapt. If any of those apply to you, click off the video now. This is also not for people who are looking for a quick fix. If you're looking for one drill that's going to jump you 5 miles an hour, this is not the place for it. It doesn't exist. If you're afraid to stick to a program for multiple months and be consistent with it, it's not for you. If you don't think you can become a professional pitcher, if you don't believe in you, I can't believe in you, we can't work. And if you are not ready to make a change in how you train and think, this is not for you, click off the video, go somewhere else. So you might be asking, who is this guy? My name is Ryan Eisler, I run Icebreaker Performance, and I'm a pitching coach in the Houston Astros organization. A little bit about myself. My pitching journey started when I was 19 years old. I was a junior college player at Shoreline Community College, go Fins. I had been a catcher growing up, walked on at my JUCO as a catcher, but I transitioned to a PO when I was struggling at the plate. I had to figure out how to pitch at a high level very quickly and all on my own. We didn't have a pitching coach at the time. And long story short, I did some things right, but I did a lot of things wrong. I ended up tearing my labrum, going through a whole rehab process. By the time I started to get back to where I was pre-surgery, I tore my UCL after all that rehab. And then that's when I kind of had a turning point. It was when COVID happened. I completely changed how I trained and how I even thought about training. I had a new approach that I went with in the weight room, and my throwing, my diet, my sleep, all of it. I changed everything, and my new method worked wonders. It took me from about 85 miles an hour consistently into the low 90s, and I gained about 40 pounds of muscle in a year, and I increased my deadlift and my squat over 100 pounds during that time. I ended up going to a University of Antelope Valley. I became the closer there, was one of our best players, and was starting to get looks from MLB scouts. I transferred after that year to LSU Shreveport to get my master's degree and play my senior year of baseball. I was the closer there as well. We were a very good team. We were ranked number 2 in the country for most of the year. And so at the end of the year, I had some indie ball opportunities to go and try and play, which I ended up declining. I decided it was time to hang them up. I wasn't going to get much juice left out of my baseball career at that point. And from there, I didn't really know what to do. I started looking into some regular 9-to-5 office jobs before I realized I was going to be miserable doing that, and I wanted to stay in baseball and try to coach. So I sent out a few applications, and I ended up getting the pitching coach job at Yakima Valley College, which is a junior college in Washington State. And after one season there, I got hired by the Houston Astros. And with the Astros, I worked with their rookie ball team, some of their rehabbing players, and the new guys that they drafted. So now, through my coaching career, even though it's been short, I've worked with pitchers from ages 10 in youth lessons all the way up to big league players. So present day, I'm looking to share my knowledge that took me from being a bad pitcher to a good pitcher and then to a professional level coach all very quickly. I'm training young, driven, and curious athletes. I've written programs for over 50 athletes now, and on average, they're gaining 4 miles an hour in the first 4 months of training with me. My mission is to help players get paid to play the game they love by having an impact on their development. So here's some of my results from guys that I've worked with. First off is Austin, JUCO player, went from 85 to 89 in 4 months. We also had Dax, went from 83 to 89 in 5 months. Tyler Dish was a pretty crazy one, went from topping 87 to 94 in 5 months, started getting Division I looks. Zaid Flynn went from 88 to 92 in just 3 months. My guy B Hart went from 89 to 94 in 5 months. Heisel went from 81 to 90 in 5 months. When I first started working with him, he was a shortstop, transitioned to a pitcher, and jumped 9 miles an hour. So pretty impressive with him. Noonan might have been one of the craziest velo jumps I've ever seen. He went from topping 84 to 91 in actually 2 months, but that second month wasn't really very consistent with it, so we didn't count it. But still, 84 to 91 in 3 months, very impressive. And then one of my pro guys I worked with went from topping 90 to 95 in 4 months after we put him on a velo program. So before I break down exactly how these guys are doing it, well, you need to know this is not just a quick fix to make you throw hard. It takes time, it takes hard work, and it takes consistent effort. You will likely need to change the way that you train and your habits in order to make this effective. So if you want a drill that's magically going to bump you 5 miles an hour and you're not willing to put in the work to become a pro, you won't change the way that you train, then this is not for you. Click off the video. But if you are willing to work your butt off, see the long-term vision of what quality training can do for you, and you want more for your baseball career, you're going to want to stick around. I'm going to show you exactly how to become a professional pitcher. What you need to do to become a professional pitcher. You have to be able to produce a lot of force. You have to produce force quickly. You have to move effectively and strongly through deep ranges of motion, aka mobility. You have to efficiently transfer energy to each part of the delivery, aka good mechanics. You have to spin the ball effectively, and you have to throw the ball where you want it to go, aka command. Now, the steps to do it are a little bit more complicated. You need a quality strength and conditioning program. You need knowledge of mechanics and pitch development, because it's really hard to do what you don't know. You need throwing drills for mechanical efficiency and for spin. You need to work on your mental skills, and you need a good recovery routine and lifestyle routine so you can get the most out of yourself. So let's break it down. Starting off with the strength and conditioning program. Here's what most pitchers do in the weight room. They do generic compound lifts like squats, deadlifts, bench, things like that. Now, don't get me wrong, these are great, but if you're only doing these, you are not separating yourself. Everybody does these. If you want to be a professional, you have to train better than everybody else. They're doing light resistance band arm care exercises. They're avoiding upper body lifts that they think are going to injure them, such as overhead press. They are neglecting plyometrics and speed work, which is vital in any good strength and conditioning program. And the problems with that is they're not training positions they're actually going to get into on the mound. Their body can only produce force at a limited range of motion, which they're not going to be doing on the mound, hopefully. They're not training their arm to handle high quantities of force. This is going to make you throw slow, and it's going to put you at high injury risk. They are getting stronger, but they are also getting slower if they're not including plyometrics in their routine. So what you should do, strength train and mobility train at the same time. Use heavy weight and at large ranges of motion, because those are the positions you're going to be in on the mound when you receive stress. You need to structure your lift plan to allow you to lift heavy upper body without being sore on game day. If you're avoiding upper body to feel ready on game day, sure, you might feel fresh on that game day, but you're going to throw poo. And then last, you need to consistently jump and sprint at 100% effort. That's how you move more explosively. The benefits of a good strength and conditioning program. Your body is going to be in strong positions that get stressed in game. You're going to be able to stay healthy because your arm's going to be prepared. You're going to be more explosive and move your body faster, and you will be a better overall athlete. But it doesn't matter if you don't know what you're doing. In order to become a professional pitcher, you're going to have to learn mechanics and pitch development. Now, you're probably trying to learn right now, but the problem with trying to do it all on your own is that what looks good is not always going to be what performs. There's a ton of different ways to throw hard, but there's only going to be one way that's actually optimal for you and your needs. There's guys that throw with janky mechanics that throw 98 to 100 miles an hour because they know what their body needs and they know what performs for them. There's tons and tons of information online these days. A lot of it is free, but only a little bit of that is going to actually be applicable to you. So believe me, the tough part is going to be sifting through that, spending hours and hours on trial and error, trying to figure out what is actually best for you. Most of you guys don't have access to advanced tech or analysts either. There's data that is really, really important to development that you guys just don't have access to. It's not public data, and that's something that you're not going to get just finding on your own. So the solution, you're going to need a community of like-minded pitchers that are willing to learn, that you can bounce ideas off of. You're going to need a coach that's willing to share professional level knowledge from those analysts, from that data. You're going to need all of your questions answered by that coach, and you need to be able to trust that coach. And you need to learn from the failures and successes of others so you don't have to waste your time doing it. It's incredibly difficult to do something you don't understand. I cannot overstate the importance of investing in your learning. It's probably the most important thing you can do for your pitching development. So you might be asking, how do I actually improve the way I pitch though? That would be the meat and potatoes, the throwing drills for mechanical efficiency and for spin. What the average pitcher is doing right now, they're playing catch to 90 feet, they're long tossing every once in a while, they're throwing bullpens at 80%, trying new cues they think of. They're listening to their coach tell the same drill to every single player on their team, and it's starting to get repetitive. They're playing catch, and at the end they're doing a little flat ground and throwing some off speed, asking their partner, hey, did that slider move? And they're responding with, yeah, it was good, it was sharp, right? It's very vague feedback. They're not tracking any of their progress. They're just relying all on their memory and their feel. Now, on the contrary, what pros do is they have a regimented plan that's detailing exactly what they do every single day. They have specific movements they're working on and drills for those movements. They're receiving quality feedback after every bullpen, after every outing from other professionals and really high quality coaches. And they are tracking their progress with everything, with data and with video. Now, these guys have access to release footage of every single pitch, slow-mo release. They know exactly how they're releasing every pitch. They have movement and release data for every single pitch. They have coaches that have seen hundreds of hours of that release footage and know what they're looking for. And they adjust their pitches based off of science, not just off of their feel. So, how do you throw like a pro? Here's where most people go wrong. They're following the schedule that their high school or college team has set for them, which is not centered around their development. Trust me, I've been in college baseball for 8 years. Vast majority of those programs, the structure is built around winning. It's built around class schedules. It's built around the coach's family schedule, things like that. It's not centered around what is optimal for your development. Next place where people go wrong, they find drills that they like on the internet and try them out. They're bouncing from drill to drill, doing ones that feel natural, when things that you do that feel natural probably isn't something you need to necessarily work on. People go wrong not getting good, consistent, reliable feedback. They're getting feedback randomly from their redshirt catcher who's catching their bullpen, from their catch play partner, from a random teammate, from their parents, things like that. It's not reliable feedback. And then the last place people go wrong is they are collecting data, but they don't know how to interpret the data they are tracking. They don't know how hard they should be throwing at their age. Maybe they're on Rapsodo and they see they have a vertical break number, but they don't know what it means. They don't know what number they should be shooting for. Those data points are very important, but if you don't know what you're using them for, they basically become useless. So here's the reality. In order to play pro ball, you need to beat out a current professional player. Each MLB organization only has 165 minor league spots. So if you're going to get signed or drafted, they have to release one of the players that's currently signed in order to make space for you. These players that are in the organizations already have access to top-tier coaching, lifestyle and nutrition plans, tons and tons of data, great facilities, and other high levels around them that are pushing them. If you are not training the way they are, you are falling behind. You're on the clock. What you have that current pros do not have is youth. Major league organizations value how young you are and how good you are. The sooner you become good, the more valuable you are as an asset. They will want you and they will throw more money at you. So what we provide is a shortcut, because it doesn't matter if you throw 95 miles an hour if it takes you until you're 25 years old to do it. Trust me, I have personal experience with that in my own career. There's value in improving at a younger age, so you don't want to wait around. You don't want to find out it's too late when it is too late. You need a good coach. For example, if you use me as a coach, you're going to skip all the things I did in my career that failed. I'm not going to tell you to do something that I know doesn't work. And it is incredibly hard to get pro-level training outside of a professional setting. So you need to honestly ask yourself this question. Look in the mirror and honestly ask yourself this. Am I currently an MLB draft prospect? If the answer to that is no, and you want it to be yes, you need to change the trajectory of your career. The methods you've been using are not getting you where you need to go. And I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they are. Maybe even if you are on that right track, you're probably moving too slow because you need to get to a certain point at a young age. The younger you can get good, the more valuable you become. We want to work with you to get you on track. Now, we only work with pitchers who want to get the most out of their career, are willing to put in the work to reach their goals, and are looking to start to improve now, but understand that it takes time and consistent effort to get there. So you might be asking, how does this program even work? It's pretty simple and straightforward, but it works. We're going to assess your strengths and weaknesses. That's going to be through mechanical analysis, looking at the way you move, looking at your lifts, where you're at in your career, and where you want to be. We're going to develop a plan that's tailored towards your specific needs. You're not going to have the same mobility program as everybody in the program because you don't move the same. You're not going to have the same strength program as everybody else because you might not lift the same amount. You might have a pre-existing injury. We're going to provide baseball education because, like I said earlier, it's hard to do something well if you don't understand it. We're going to give you consistent quality feedback. We're going to track your progress, and we're going to surround you with other highly motivated baseball people. Reminder, it is extremely rare to get professional level programming and knowledge outside of professional baseball. You do not want to miss this opportunity. Personally, I know what it feels like to not know what to do, to not have a coach to talk to after an outing, to try out drills and not realize it was stupid until weeks later and waste those weeks. I know what it feels like to fail miserably. My goal my entire life was to play professional baseball, and I failed. I didn't get there. But because I failed, you don't have to. I've wasted years of my career doing stuff that wasn't actually helping me. And because of that, I now know what things actually will yield results and what things are eyewash. So if you want to avoid the same mistakes I made during my career, skip the thousands of hours trying to figure out what's perfect and what works for you, leverage other players and their experiences and their mistakes, do things right before it's too late, and become a professional pitcher? Book a call with us today. It's my mission to help as many young athletes achieve their dreams as I can. I want to spread my knowledge I've learned in college and professional baseball and watch my athletes absolutely crush their competition. Don't hesitate. Reach out, book a call. I want to get to know you and see if working together would be a good fit for both of us. Best way to connect is going to be through a DM on social media. I got my Instagram, my Twitter, and my TikTok right there. Just hop in there and let us know you're interested in getting on a call. Thank you. I appreciate your time, and I hope to hear from you soon.